Well, welcome. We'll get started. I'm Laura Carson, the customer service specialist here at Eagle Tech. And this is Zach Mann. He's our, hey guys, how are you? Take a spot. We're just getting started. So we're going over iOS 9, taking a first look at iOS 9 operating system today. And just a show of hands, how many people have downloaded it on any of their devices yet? Okay, awesome. I'm hoping that you've seen some of the features, and maybe you'll learn, take away a couple of interesting things today. I know for me, I'm kind of into the news, and some of the younger folks were saying, oh, I don't even use that feature, but I tend to want to know what's happening daily in the news, and I also want to know, I guess, how this can make my life easier and I can keep up to date. So that's probably the biggest thing for me. So for the news piece, there's the news app that you see here, and that is new. That's the new one. But also, you can get your daily news, and we'll talk about that one in just a moment to look at all the stories and where you can go to your specific news feeds that you subscribe to, and that's you'd go to the news app, and we'll look at that in a sec. But I wanted to show you, if you slide from the left to the right, it opens up a brand new feature here that shows not only all the new news that's happening today, so basically what's happening on Tuesday, September 22nd, it's going to give you all of the brand new stories that are just happening. In fact, you and I were on here, 15 minutes ago that I was looking at the news, and it literally has updated since then, talking about the Fiorino stories new, Queen of the Hill, interesting, China formally arrests U.S. citizen. Those weren't here before. So fascinating. So it does it that quickly. And then it also gives you the top Siri suggestions are who you have called. So, my handsome husband, my son, and friend, sister, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to show you all your top people, and you can go ahead and tap on those if you want to send them an email, go ahead and, call them, etc. You can get on there depending on what device you're on. So it just makes, again, your life a little faster and easier for you to go ahead.
How did you get to that?
I went ahead and I slid, good question, Mary, let me just bring this up, from left to right, and then I brought up the new screen.
Do you have an iPad too, or when did you buy your iPad?
It depends on which iPad as well that you have. In fact, Fred, he's going to perhaps show you if you have questions as you're going. If anyone has an iPad too.
The older iPad have a whole bunch of functions on iOS
Yeah.
that don't work or are not enabled, so you won't be able to, for example, do that with the older iPad. I have an iPad 2, and I'm not able to do that. As far as I know, I've updated to iOS 9, and I've seen that on older iPads it tends to make them laggy, as in slower. So if you haven't already updated to iOS 9, I would wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you upgrade to iOS 9?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you did.
Okay. So for those of you, if you're watching this on the video, Fred had just mentioned that you've got the iOS 9 upgrade. If you have it on your iPad 2, there's some features that aren't going to be there. So, but they do recommend that the iOS, it's basically the iOS 9 can be put on the phone, your 4, starting with the 4S, and also with the iPad 2. So that would be probably the lowest models. Like you wouldn't want to put this on an iPad 1, for instance, the original iPad. I think they call it iPad 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the original. Yeah. So this would be probably the feature that I use the most again, and also just finding what's nearby if you want to go out for coffee, lunch, etc. Find out where the lowest gas prices are. And do any of you use Gas Buddy? Have you come to a previous, probably, I don't know if you found that in one of our previous classes, but I went over one of the top apps, in my opinion, top great apps is Gas Buddy. So that tells you in the radius that you're in, who's got the lowest price on gas. So we're a little bit crazy about that.
You'll know what the cheapest gas is.
Yeah.
The most expensive is.
Yeah, it's really a nice app. Banks and ATMs and grocery stores. So that would probably be the thing that I like the most about this screen. They've always had the top-down pull down from the top to get search, in your search bar, so you can just find either something on your iPad, or if you needed to get an answer to something, it'll pop out to Safari and bring it up. But here it has the top search bar here. You can either get to it by just tapping, like I just did there, and see if I wanted to get out to my Netflix account and do that, or Notability, Buddy TV. Oh, that looks cool. Okay. So go out to different applications there. So how else do you get to search besides that?
I use Siri.
Yep, or Siri. Yeah. Yep. Or just hold down Siri. Siri, grab me the new Netflix app I put on last night. And there's the new Siri as well, the new Siri bars. And it actually has increased, and you're going to talk about the efficiency or...
Okay, I found this on the web for Siri. Grab me the new Netflix app I put on last
Everything
night.
I said, I was... Okay, that happens usually when I'm in the car and I've got kids talking in the background and I'm trying to write in, something, a text to someone, and I'm like, okay, Siri, blah, 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 and then it just keeps my conversation going with Siri, just like that. So, good example of when to hit off for Siri. Yeah.
All right, there we go. Can everyone hear me? All right, sweet. Okay. So I'm going to go over, she kind of went over a couple two features of the new iOS 9. I'm going to go more in depth on other things that are possibly, that you guys are wondering about, all the new stuff. One of the new ones that you'll see right away with anything on here is the new font they're using now, San Francisco font. One big one that you'll notice, if you go and if you're typing on something, it all has all caps right here, but once you hit the first letter, it changes into lowercase. I like it. I just think it's cool and how they did that. But since we're in Notes right now, I'm going to go over some of the new features of Notes. Have any of you guys messed around with the Notes yet? Do you like it?
Yeah, you can write with your finger right on
Yep.
your phone.
Yep. So Notes, just like before, you can type in what you're thinking. So hey, how's this going? How's it going? So I'm going to type in that. And you can write all the stuff. But now, let's say I wanted to highlight what I just did, select it all. You remember how you'd have to hold it down and hit select, and then you'd have to move, grab that one and move it over to select that. And now, with 2 fingers, I can touch the keyboard and then move my fingers to the left, and it is like a cursor on a mouse. So I can highlight more than easier with that. And then if you have a longer paragraph, you can actually pull down and highlight more at that, but we only have this. Another one cool that I like is when I'm going to the grocery store. I used to use Evernote to create a to-do list or a grocery list, but now you can actually do that right in the Notes app. Press this little check mark right there, and it's going to put a little circle right there. So let's say I want to go to the grocery store and get eggs, then milk, and then bread. And then it keeps, every time I hit return, it keeps adding more from there because it's knowing that you wanted to make a list. So if I put and then let's say I go to the grocery store and I got eggs. You just click on the circle and it check marks it. What Julie was talking about, how you can now write with the note. So let's select all and then write with it. See this little squiggly over here, right there? If I tap that squiggly, it's actually going to pull up this where you can draw on it. Draw on the notes what you're thinking. You can actually change all the colors by sliding it, so you have more color options. And then you have a pen, a marker, a pencil, a ruler, and an eraser, like normal. But what I think is really cool is the ruler. So if I pull up the ruler, it's going to have a ruler right there. And then with 2 fingers, I can move the ruler like this. And it's going to go to 90 degrees. Let's say I want 90 degrees. And then if I grab the marker and change it to red, it's actually going to act like a ruler. So even if I cross my finger over the ruler, it's not going to let me go past the ruler. So if I wanted to make a 90-degree angle like that, it's not going to let me, if I went like this, it's not going to let me go past the ruler. So if I do, and then I wanted to make this, and it's going to go down to 0. I'm just doing this with my 2 fingers, so I can do that, and then I wanted to make a 45-degree angle. Just go like that, and I can just, right there, and then pull down the ruler, and voila. And then you could erase too, like let's say your ruler, and I just wanted to erase that line that I just did right there. I can grab the eraser, and it's not going to let me, again, go past the ruler. So even if I drag my finger past, it's not going to let me erase anything past the ruler. And you could do it on both sides of it. So that's about it for notes. Do you guys have any questions of what I did, or want me to go in more depth? Kind of. So these are a bunch of Laura's notes from there. Yeah, my favorite is the checklist app on it. Another new one is how many people use Maps on their phones? A lot of people. So the Maps is updated now to where it's got new directions features, and it's more in depth now. In bigger cities like Chicago, you can have like transit information right from Maps, subway information, but Cedar Rapids obviously doesn't have subways. But I think this is it's just a continue on feature, but a new one is that it shows you real-time traffic. So like right now on 380, that right there is kind of slow. It's kind of showing you. If it's red, it's actually, if you have directions and you're going on 380, it's actually going to try to get you around the traffic. So that's another cool thing of Maps. I know the walking directions are different. So like if I went to directions, so I wanted to start from current location, let's go to the hospital. It's actually going to have my drive, walk, and then transit. So if I was in Chicago, I could find, if I hit transit, it's going to pull up like subway information. Let's say I just wanted to drive. It's actually, when I hit start, it's going to pull it down there, and then, so right now it's showing an overview, and then I can have a preview of all what's going to happen, but just by sliding. So it's actually going to show you, it's actually different a little bit right there. But yeah, that's a little bit more on Maps. Is there anything else that you noticed with?
Just the one thing I would recommend, if you're on your phone, you won't have a problem at all. I guess I should talk into the speaker thing. If you're on your phone, I just noticed, we were having some lag time there because we're just on Wi-Fi. But the phone would bring it in okay, because you could use your Signal. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't just use your phone on your maps. Do a lot of you just use it on your phone? That's how I use it usually. So it's going to pull in. It was waiting to load on the left-hand side there, but the cellular data is going to populate a whole lot faster if you're in downtown Chicago or New York or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, so Maps is really cool. I use it a lot, just plugging it into my car. Another one, it's not on the iPad, but Apple Pay. Any of you guys use Apple Pay ever? It's kind of cool. I use Apple Pay just because I have my card and like my Starbucks card's on there too, so I can just pull it up from my phone. But now, if you have your phone and you just want to get to your wallet really quick, it's a new app on your phone. It's called Wallet, and it has all your cards on there. You just have to double click from the lock screen, and it pulls up the wallet right there. So it's pretty cool.
And if in a couple minutes, when Zach shows the video, that will show how the Apple Pay works and how that feature operates. We just don't have it, and I only have a 5S phone, so we don't have that on our phones right now. But if you happen to be getting a 6, that'll be nice.
Another one is the multitasking. With the video, does the video show the multitasking feature?
Yes.
Okay, so this isn't the iPad Air 2, but if you had an iPad Air 2, it has the ability to make a multitasking a whole lot easier. We could have one thing on one side and work with another. But this one has a little bit of the slide over. So what what the slide over is, let's say we're going to Laura's mail and we're writing a new message or something. And while she's typing this long email, she wants to watch her favorite movie. All she has to do from the right-hand side is slide her finger over, and it's actually going to pull up all these apps for her that are available for her to slide over. So right now, if she wanted to, she can set her alarm, or she could find that contact that she's looking for to get all the contact information. Or what am I doing next Tuesday to tell my friend Susie that I'm going here? What's cool, like let's say she wanted to watch her favorite movie, so she pulls up videos and she wants to watch, say, Elmo's Fire. All she has to do is click on it, hit play, and it's going to start playing like this, but once it starts to play, it's going to pull up options down here. It's just got to connect to Wi-Fi. Oh, it's connected to the...
music, or starts the movie. It only shows it on here. so-
Yep. But what it will do, because I'm plugged in right now into the TV, so it's thinking I want to watch the whole full screen. But when that screen comes up, it's going to have a little icon down here that's going to let you pull the movie down to where it's like a square about this big and take that over so she can watch the movie right here as she's typing the email. That's another cool feature. And just to get to, like right now I'm on the movies, but I wanted to go back to the clock. All I have to do is see that little bar right up here on the right-hand side. Pull down that bar, and it's going to bring up all your available apps that you can slide over. So if she wants to FaceTime with her mom, she can do that, and it's going to pull up FaceTime right here. And so she can FaceTime while she's doing that. Hulu messages, she can text while she's typing.
Can you just drag and drop like a photo? I haven't.
Oh, I haven't done. So let's do. I don't think.
Maybe not.
Nope.
Oh, you actually hit the other button, the lower. Yep.
Bottom.
Yeah.
This one?
We do this little fella. Oops. Yeah, but I think we have to. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Nope.
throw you off.
Yeah, it's not going to let me. Nope.
That'd be a cool new feature for them to add. So
Yeah.
Just drag and drop that.
Or like the notes that we just created, like if she wanted to send her sketch, she can just pull the sketch right up there. Like that right 90-degree angle as she did. But yeah, that's slide over. And then foundation, which is a lot of new things. What iOS 9 has done in the background without telling you really what they've done is like a lot of their new apps like news or notes or maps. This is actually created to use less battery, so you're going to see an increase in your battery life as well as your performance, so it's going to be a whole lot faster. And that's even on older iPad 2s or your phone. If you have an older phone, it's going to increase all that stuff even if it's an older phone. Yeah, want to go over the video? I think that's all.
Any questions before we start this little cool video? There's a couple different places I would go to. One of them would be The Verge. I found a lot of good, interesting material out there, as well as what I've grabbed here is just something from it's from YouTube actually. So we can.
And then any
Oh,
questions
there it
on
is.
stuff that I didn't cover, that you're having issues with your iOS 9 device, that you're just not knowing or that we can help you with right now? Okay. Start the video. Obviously, we'll get an ad.
Have you ever wanted to make an iPhone app but didn't know where to start? Or have you already tried to make an app?
There we go.
What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and welcome to my top 9 iOS 9 features. In this video I'm going to be showing you 9 of the best things Apple's done to iOS 9. While it appears the firmware itself has not changed much visually, there actually is a lot going on underneath that skin, and in this video I'm going to be highlighting 9 of the best features. Alright, so to begin, Siri. Not only has Siri received a new look based on the styling of the Apple Watch, Siri is now smarter. She can do a lot more thanks to proactivity. So what proactivity is it's deeply ingrained with Spotlight Search in iOS 9 as well as all of your applications, so Siri can do a lot more. For example, say you're reading an email and you ask Siri, remind me of this later. She'll be able to do that now, and she can even remind you based on location and time. So Siri can now understand context, and this is the new look of Siri. It's absolutely beautiful. So when you actually talk to her, these little lines of different colors, exactly like the Apple Watch, will appear down here. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it definitely makes sense in iOS 9. Now, one of the examples that Apple used that I really liked was, Siri, remind me to remove the coffee from the top of my car. And Siri will actually be able to know when you're in the car, and it'll be able to tell you, hey, go ahead and remove your coffee from the top of the car so it doesn't spill. That was really cool. Now basically Siri is now aware of location, of context. It's a lot smarter, and with time you'll be able to know a lot more of Siri's tricks that she can now do. Apple Pay has been revamped. Now there's a ton of new support for many small businesses thanks to a new Square Card reader. It's been renamed into wallets, which is quite interesting. Inside it looks very similar, and it can actually support a lot of loyalty cards for certain stores, so you don't have to carry around a ton of them inside of your wallet. And with a growing expansion of Apple Pay, you'll have no worries about support very soon. Now, there's actually support for Discover cards as well, so 50 million people that didn't have that support before now do. There's also Pinterest buyable pins, which is an interesting integration for Apple Pay, and there's now Apple Pay inside of the UK in a certain amount of retailers for now, but it will grow in the future. Really nice additions to Apple Pay. Now, we have spoken and Apple has listened. There is now a dedicated low power mode inside of your battery settings, which is a new category inside of your settings, so you can enable it, and this will reduce certain system functions. Your actual meter over here will turn yellow, and this will reduce speed of your internet, your mail refresh, your screen brightness, background app refresh. Apple even said there's a ton of things that we don't even know about that it does in the background, which will allow you to get about 3 hours of extra battery life when you're on this mode. Now, aside from that, Apple did improve the battery life in iOS 9 as well. You can now get up to an hour of more battery life on an iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Now, they didn't say for older devices, but I assume that is better for them as well. Now, the thing I like about low power mode is that it doesn't completely cripple your device. When you enable it, you can still use your phone as a phone. It'll just limit some of the minor things. I mean, when you're running low on battery, why would you mind? It's not like it's permanent, and you don't have to go ahead and toggle everything yourself. It'll enable all of that for you in one place. Absolutely great. That came in Android first, but it is welcome to see that Apple has finally listened and added it to iOS 9. Now, iPad users on iOS 9, you guys are the lucky ones, because iPhone users and iPod Touch users will not be receiving these features, which are amazing. I don't see why Apple limited them to the iPad, but here is Slide Over, which will be available on all iPads starting from the iPad Mini 2 and up, and from the iPad Air and up. So anyways, if you're actually inside of an application, say I'm inside of the new Notes app, and I slide over, you now have this tab. Now in here, you can actually swap between certain applications. So let's say I want to be in Notes and browsing the internet at the same time. So in here, go ahead and click on this guy, and it'll bring a little slide view over. So you can adjust it, and it's pretty much a thin view of the application. It is multitasking, but it's not full multitasking. The iPad Air 2 will be able to support the full split screen view. So you can actually adjust it, and where did we see this before? It reminds me a little bit of this jailbreak tweak. But anyways, you now have full access to both applications, and they can both be run at the same time. So one person can be over here on this side, another on this side doing their own thing, and it'll work just fine. This is true multitasking, finally, on the iPad Air 2. All other devices will be restricted to just slide over, where it'll just be a view of another app right here, and you can swap them, but it will not be a full split screen view. Now, alongside that split screen view, we now have picture-in-picture video, so you can be doing your own thing and have a little video down here of whatever video you were playing. And the way it works is when you're playing a video, any video on your device, you just click the home button, and then it appears in a small box down here, which you can then resize, move anywhere you like, so you can keep doing whatever you're doing while maintaining contact. Now, for now, it's for video and FaceTime video calls. So I'm over here, and you can actually resize this, move this around, and it's a really nice feature. And again, this is something we've seen in a competitor's OS, but it's nice to finally have it on iOS 9. Now, here's another one of those great features that only iPad users will be getting. I envy you. Anyways, so up here on the top bar, there's now a new shortcut bar in the keyboard. So in this example, I'm in Notes. If I want to actually doodle real quick, I can do so here. Really nice, add it to the Notes, and then it'll be right there. So this actual bar up here is really convenient. Now, the actual reason it's here is because of the new gestures inside of the keyboard app. So use 2 fingers, you can actually move the cursor around on the screen to anywhere you like. So let me actually move it to somewhere where I have text that I can show you. So, okay, see, as I'm moving it like this, you can actually move it to wherever you want. Say I want to start right here, just double tap and then begin moving it over. And now you've selected text. It's become so easy to modify text on your iPad. It just makes sense. It's a large keyboard. Why wouldn't you have this feature? So this makes an iPad much more productive. The fact that you don't have to fiddle with the actual on-screen text and can do so easily here. You can go ahead and just select them really easily, text, and again, you can cut it over here or copy it, paste it, anything you want.